When you are, let's win a ball game.
In the biggest game that we have called so far this season, the Gaithersburg Giants look for a massive win over the Bethesda Big Train Giants, up in the division by 3 games, and possibly more importantly, given what happened last year, the Giants can clinch a playoff spot with either a win or a Braves loss tonight. There's so many storylines to keep track of. There is so much to look for in this matchup, and it is just a perfect night for baseball. I'm Tyler Lochte. He is Sammy Krimstein. Sammy, this is as excited as I've been for a ball game in my 2 years here in Gaithersburg.
I don't blame you, Tyler. I'm just as excited. The weather could not be more perfect, and what a huge game for the Giants, who try and maintain what has been an incredible season to this point, and playing a bigger foe than you could possibly play, the Bethesda Big Train.
Boy, has a nice little rivalry developed between these two. First pitch from Nick Carls is fouled away, 0-1 to Christopher Diaz, the right fielder, hitting lefty.
Diaz, a rising freshman at Tulane, batting left-handed, and he's been heating up lately, sliding into that leadoff spot now for Bethesda.
And he will foul that back. It's interesting to see which Nick Carls we get tonight. Do we get the ace from last season, or do we get a guy who has been unlucky at times so far this year?
Well, Carls has had some time off. He hasn't pitched since June 16th. So I got here with the team on June 17th. So Nick Carls has not been on the bump since I have arrived here in Gaithersburg. That says something. Hoping to see something reminiscent of where he was last year, because he had an ERA below 1.5 last season with Gaithersburg. He was a true ace, and if they could see that from him tonight, they'll have more than a chance to win this one.
Diaz will lift the 2-2 out to center field, and it is off the wall, leaping his best, and he can't make the catch. Robbins is going to have to run in to get it. He will throw it in, and into third base goes Diaz. What a start for Bethesda.
Fastball coming in at 84, and that pitch just not hard enough to be left right out over the plate like it was. A high fastball, and almost just curls right into the zone of Diaz, and he keeps swinging a hot bat, reaching third now on a triple, and
now this ball is hit high in the air to left by Williamson. The league's best hitter is going to drive in the first run of this game with the sacrifice fly. And the Big Train take a 1-0 lead with 1 out of the first.
Just simply not the start Gaithersburg was looking for. Good news, the bases are clear, but you still have to go through this middle of a Bethesda order that has been one of the best lineups all year long. Their record not as good as always, but the offense has still been producing for Bethesda. Last night they had a big 9-8 comeback win at home against the Aces.
Whitaker on the ground to first. Sheeler, no problem, 2 outs. And you wonder now, if you are Carls, you get that out of the way. In most ballparks in this league, by the way, that's a simple pop-out. But because it's only 350 to center, that may best have to try to make an impossible catch on the wall. So Whitaker retired. Now it's Emilio Gonzalez. What a week he's coming off of.
Just named the Cal Ripken Player of the Week, and rightfully so.
He will swing and miss there, and it's 1-1.
Get this, his slash line, 545 average, 577 on base, 773 slug last week. Unreal numbers from Emilio Gonzalez, who had been good up until that point, but is now really carrying this Big Train lineup, has turned into a centerpiece of this really good Big Train lineup.
There's so many guys who can hurt you on this Big Train team that'll come inside 3-1.
Now, the important thing for Carls is going to be staying in the strike zone. A 2-out walk would not be ideal.
It's hit hard right at Sheeler. What a play. Out number 3, and Carl settles down after the leadoff triple, but it is 1-0 to the visitors here at Criswell. Welcome back to Criswell Automotive Field. Tyler Lochte alongside me, Sammy Krimstein. Will Clements gets the ball in this all-important game for the Big Train.
Clements, another Tulane guy. Big Train's leadoff man, went to Tulane. The Giants have a pitcher from Tulane, Trace Hajic. Clements teammates with him over there, and he's going to give the Giants some trouble today for sure. Some of the best stuff in this league. He sits 93-94 with arm side run, and this is a guy who works downhill really well. Big, imposing 6'5" frame, so that fastball, he does a really good job at using his big body to get some mass behind it and get that in the zone quickly. His secondary pitch is going to be the curveball, which is thrown pretty hard and has good bite to it. For a curveball, he sits high 70s, which is good velo for that pitch. It'll be a tough arm for the Giants to face, a D1 guy, of course, but the Giants have done a good job this year at facing these top arms that they have been dealt, so I'm excited to see how they do it today.
How much length can Bethesda expect out of Clements tonight?
They're going to need a lot of length. I don't know how much they can expect, but they used a lot of pitchers last night, including Stevens, one of their best bullpen arms from Alabama.
That's why I ask, because usually it seems to be that their starter goes 3 or 4, and then Stevens gets 3 or 4 after. This is going to be a tough play for Crossland. There's no throw. Giants get the leadoff man aboard with Powell, the all-star, standing on first with an infield single.
Does not hit that one hard at all, but it's in the right spot. A bouncing ground ball. The pitcher can't get it. Crossland coming in from second base really has no play. Smart of him to just eat it, and Brady Powell just finds a way, called a base knock for him, and the Giants have something going here down 1 in the bottom of the first.
Jaden Brown is tuned in. Shout out to him, I guess, as Robbins will swing. Yes. So Aiden Robbins comes into this game. Earlier today, Seton Hall was posting and raving about how good of a freshman campaign he had. And boy, has he picked up right where he left off this summer.
Yeah, Aiden Robbins has just been everything the Giants could have wanted out of him. He's hitting .342 with power, leads the team in home runs, and he is also contributing in the field and on the base paths. He has been an all-around player for Gaithersburg.
He will take ball 1.
And I just love him in the 2 spot. It just fits him so well. The Giants have been putting him there for the past week or so, and
it seems like analytics these days are really emphasizing the importance of that 2 spot. You know, you want to have a guy who gets on base in your 1 spot. What would you say are the most important qualities of a guy that's hitting number 2?
I think you want someone who can do a little bit of everything at number 2. Someone who can hit for power, but is also getting on base at a good clip. I mean, I heard it from a youth coach a long time ago, but the 2 spot is usually where you're putting one of your best, if not your very best hitter, and Robbins certainly fits that description for Gaithersburg because he has been doing it all for this team this summer.
Yes, he has. 1-2 hole here, though. And he is going to hit it well in the air. Left center field. Back is Bastion. He will look up, and it's off the wall. Powell headed for third, and it's a double for Aiden Robbins.
When this Giants team, Tyler, is hitting well, it's because they're taking advantage of mistakes. And that's exactly what Robbins did. A curveball hung right over the middle of the plate. Robbins, of course, with 2 strikes, you don't want to sit any certain pitch. You have to be on your toes. But he sees it, he adjusts to it, and man, did he crush it. 93 off the bat. Aiden Robbins, if you can say anything about him, he hits the baseball real hard.
And Sheeler off the end of the bat. That's going to fall in. He walked off the big train last time, and now he ties this game at 1. An RBI single for Sheeler, picking up right where he left off against the Giants' division rivals.
I love the aggressive approaches here for the Giants tonight. That's a pitch 92 inner half, one that I think a lot of guys, with a guy with this kind of velo, would not swing at first pitch. But Sheeler aggressively goes after it, doesn't hit it super hard, but guess what? It finds some outfield grass, and he gets a run across. That's called doing a job for your team in the 3-hole.
Now it's the DH, Brendan Kleiman, and what I really like there about that at-bat from Sheeler, he's a Salisbury guy, but he's not scared of 92-93, is he? I mean, he walks right in there, swings to the first pitch he sees. And now Kleiman is going to hit this back up the middle. There's one. The throw to first is in time, but the Giants do take the lead on the double play. They trade 2 outs for 1 run, and it's 2-1 here in the first.
Well, they say drive in a run any way you can, and I'm a firm believer in that. Even if it's a double play, obviously, I think any other method would have worked. But look, at this point in the game, you're trying to get on top, you're trying to get runs, and I love how the Giants go down early and get the lead right back. That's what this team has done all year, resilient.
So now they're empty for A.J. Martin. He will take strike 1. And in an important game like this, that's such an interesting trade-off. I mean, I don't know which one you would rather have. If you would trade 2 outs in a game where you only get 27 of them against the big train. Is a run worth 2 outs? Well, I guess we will find out. Martin with a big swing and miss there. It's 1-2. And A.J. Martin, you talk about Robbins. How about Martin, who has quietly had a phenomenal summer as well?
Well, Martin leads the team in OPS. I mean, he's been well above league average.
Here's a bouncer. Constable, I like that effort there behind home plate to try his best to make a play on that. You never know. I think it's better safe than sorry if you are a catcher to at least charge that ball and act like you're going to throw. That is...
Always play it like it's going to be fair until you hear it for certain from the umpire.
That is great awareness from Constable. 1-2. Swing and miss at 91 inside, and Clements will walk off after the Giants take a 2-1 lead. We've got a nice ball game here early from Criswell. Jordan Crossland will stand in, a guy that I have seen a lot of, Sammy, and he's the second baseman, the regular second baseman for this big train squad. He will take ball one. Crossland, he did get a lot of time, especially earlier in the year for Maryland, which is easier said than done as a freshman to do. He is a big part of the Terps' plans, and he will have a 1-1 count here from Carls. 1-1. Crossland fouls it away, and it's 1-2. And does Carls hunt here, you think?
I think if you're Carls, you have to hunt. I like how, despite giving up the run in the first inning, it was efficient. That was around 10 pitches, which will get you length. And manager TJ Brockway always looking for that out of his starters.
And we know that he's fresh, maybe a little bit too fresh. It's been a while, as you said, since his last start. Giants had to use a lot of pitchers last night. 2-2. Crossland takes, and boy, was that close. It's called a ball, and this count is full. Giants really need to look out for a leadoff walk to the big train. They love to take them. And Crossland will foul that back. That was a pitch in the zone. A good job by Jordan to just get a piece.
Crossland putting together a really good at-bat. This is a guy who walks a lot, strikes out a lot.
He's going to hit this hard right at Kawashima, fields it cleanly, throws across in time. A nifty play by Massa for out number one here in the second at Sammy. We saw the big train take that early lead. What do you think it does to Carl's mindset for him to see his offense go right back out there and give him the lead?
It just makes you feel relaxed out there on the mound because as a pitcher, your job is to win the game. Your job is to help your team beat the other team. Of course, it's in the name of the game. But for Carls, when your guys on offense get you 2 runs right after you go down 1-0, you know that your guys have got you, and it makes you feel a lot better.
He will just miss there 1-1. It's kind of like the team collectively saying, hey man, we've got your back today. Just focus on your pitches and we will do the rest. It's a good job by the Giants offense to set the tone, and now can Carls reward them with a quick inning here? This is hit on the ground and foul down the first base line. He's produced a lot of contact, but it seems to have stayed on the ground so far, other than obviously the big hit and the sac fly.
And that's what happens when he hits his spots low in the strike zone. That's where Carls is going to have to be.
Just upstairs. That's now 2 balls in this at-bat that were in the shadow of the zone and both called in favor of the big train. 2-2 pitch from Carls on the ground. Can Sheeler get there? Yes. The throw to first, and Carls covers. That's a really good play by Danny Sheeler at first.
Danny Sheeler has been flashing the glove over there at first base. Made a really nice play on a 1-hop, scooping it with the backhand in the first inning. Makes a good play right there.
That is not an easy play at all.
No, I mean, good defense at first base is an underrated asset defensively when you look across the diamond, right? I think having a good defensive first baseman is huge.
Danny Sheeler soon to be a senior at Salisbury. That will find a piece. Just catching the outside part of the plate. Jaden Bastian, the left fielder, is next. 4 straight groundouts dating back to last inning produced by Carls.
And that's because of the changeup. Carl's starting to use that pitch a lot, and it's been really effective when he's putting it low in the strike zone.
We'll find the top of the strike zone there at 84, and it's 1-2.
And the one time he got hit really hard so far in this one, the leadoff triple, it was a fastball left up in the strike zone. That's what Carls is going to have to avoid if he wants to get some length and have a good outing today. And I like how he's made the adjustment. This inning, you can tell his mindset is change-ups, even some of the breaking stuff, low in the strike zone.
Popped up, right side. Robbins on his horse. He's not going to be able to make a play on that. Now, Sammy, again, we've already talked about how there's been a bit of a break, a bit of a layoff since his last start. You wonder if that first inning, especially those first two ABs, were Carl's just kind of getting back into the swing of things and finding his rhythm.
Absolutely. After not doing anything for a while, it always takes some time to get back into your rhythm.
This is hit on the ground to third. Holub, the throw across, is in time. And it's a 1-2-3 second inning for Nick Carls. We'll head to the bottom half of the second. Giants looking to add to their lead. Welcome back to Gaithersburg. I'm Tyler Lochte. He is Sammy Krimstein, and a quick shout out to Tim Wilcox all the way over on our left. He's riding hard for this league.
Always working hard over there.
A friend of the program, unofficially, Tim Wilcox. He's been on this year. Andrew Holub will stand in, soon to be Iowa Hawkeye, trying to show that he can do more than just defense, which is what he's really shown off so far today. A nice play from third.
Made a good play over there, but he's been playing really well on offense. He's been swinging that bat. He already has 5 RBIs in just 3 games as a Gaithersburg Giant. Just joined the team Friday, I believe it was.
2-0 will miss, and now it's 3-0. And
I think the league has gotten the memo that, hey, this is a guy who, if you leave a pitch up in the strike zone, he's going to punish you. So I can see why the pitcher Clemens is dodging around him a bit.
that will find the top inside corner at 90. Holub, a power 5 guy. Giants don't have many. Big Train have tons. Holub will bounce that one foul. Now, Tulane, not a power 5 program, but in the world of baseball,
Yeah.
Tulane, a tournament team this season.
Yeah. And
They've had some very, very high draft picks as well.
they do have a pretty good representation here in the Cal Ripken League. Tonight we have 2 Tulane, I believe they're the Green Wave over there.
I think you're right. They have beautiful jerseys, and Holub pops it up. That's in play. It's called off by Crossland, who's an outfielder at Maryland, and he shows off his ability to track down a fly ball there, making the catch, and there's one away here in the bottom of the second. Now it's Matt Best. It was the ball that was hit to him that is the Big Train's only run. He tried to make an unbelievable catch on the wall. Could not do it. He'll take a strike.
Best got off to a really hot start this season. He's been struggling a bit as of late, one for his last 15, but he has a lot of talent, and I love his bat-to-ball skills. And I think he is bound to break out of this slump sooner than later.
Despite the slump, he is still a league average hitter in terms of OPS plus, which
Right at 100,
you
yeah.
calculated earlier today.
You are right.
By the way.
I love my spreadsheets. What can I say?
We might have to pass those numbers along to our resident league expert, Tim Wilcox, who's sitting right here, we can try to promote our team even better with our analytics department, which is literally just you and your laptop when you get bored.
Yep, that's what was going on. I had some time before the game. I was like, hey, you know what? Let's put together a spreadsheet. Why not? Always, I'm a big Google Sheets guy. You better believe it.
Fouled back by Best, and it's 2-2.
Best has this timed up. He's right on it.
That was a good pitch to hit. 92, middle of the zone, a bit inside, but right where that sweet spot of the bat is on the swing. Can Best find it there? Well, he'll take a ball. And if you're the Giants, you don't mind this, getting that pitch count up for Will Clements. There's only 6 guys available to pitch today for the Train out of the pen. 1 lefty and 5 righties, and none of them are named Jonathan Stevens, a player that the Giants seem to know all too well.
And that's a sigh of relief for Gaithersburg, because Stevens, he's a D1 SEC guy, right?
He's a 95-mile-an-hour guy. Best, a bouncer. Charging is Franklin. He will throw across, and what a play. Best is retired. And that's, I would say, the best infield defense we've seen on a night where we've seen a lot of it. And now it's Ethan McNally's turn.
Both pitchers doing a good job at just getting weak contact. And it's interesting because these are 2 pitchers working very differently. We have, for the big Train, Clements, who's more of a power pitcher, really just fastball, curveball. And then Carls, who's more of a finesse guy with 3 different pitches that he'll go back and forth from. And I love matchups like this, when you get 2 pitchers who are effective, but doing it in very different ways. And that's what we've seen today.
0-2 now, the hole for Ethan McNally. Carls worked a 1-2-3 second inning. Now Clements trying to do the same. Gonna get the punch out. Not there. Looks like it got the top of the zone as you hear a member of the Big Train bench say good miss.
That is a good miss. I mean,
may not have missed at all.
But that is where you want that pitch, up above the strike zone, trying to get a chase.
That's way outside, and now extra pitches for Clements maybe. That could be how he's thinking about it. If you're a pitcher, you cannot approach it that way, but some cannot help it. 2-2. Strike 3 called. Gets the inside piece at 90. Down goes McNally, down go the Giants, but they're up 2-1 here on the Giants Broadcast Network. Cole Constable, former Terp. He would now be going to Quinnipiac. I think they're the Wildcats, but I'm not 100% sure there.
Hey, I'm a big fan of anything Wildcats. If you don't know, I am a Northwestern Wildcat. Go Cats.
First pitch to Constable taken down.
Who, by the way, Tyler, pretty much owned Maryland in every sport this year.
All right.
Even baseball.
We're gonna
Even baseball.
keep it going. It's
I'll
inside.
stop myself before I have too much fun.
Look, I will give you that. I'm not disagreeing. That was a tough trip for me out to Chicago.
It was a great
Giving
trip.
me a place to stay, but that was a quiet bus ride back, for me at least. Carl's finds the bottom of the zone there, 2-1.
Not a quiet bus ride for me and all my Northwestern friends.
You're right. All 10 of the students at that game. 2-1. He finds the bottom of the zone again. And it looks like Carl's is taking advantage of a zone that extends maybe lower than the TrackMan zone does here from the home plate up.
If that's where the strike zone's going to be, that is going to work right into Carl's favor.
He likes to work low in the zone. He goes there again and forces a swing. And you're right, Sammy. This zone really benefits Nick Carls.
It absolutely does. I mean, that's exactly what he's going to be looking for, low in the strike zone.
That's how he can operate. It's on the ground and fouled away. So Cole Constable, the 8 hitter, both catchers tonight hitting in that 8 spot. Not sure what the delay is here. I think there's no way. Did a ball from the Big Train bullpen just find its way onto the field? Are they already looking for somebody to warm up?
I wish I could tell you, but as you may know, we have a big tree obstructing our view over there.
That's fouled back. Daniel, our assistant GM, sort of just mouthed to be foul ball. I guess it bounced back onto the field. There's that big hill over there and left. So that would make sense. Two. Strike 3 called. He goes outside and gets the call. And down on strikes is Constable, the first K tonight from Nick Carls.
Yeah, and that's the breaking ball. He paints it right on the outside corner. Once again, taking advantage of what has been a big strike zone tonight, and why not take advantage of it? Get the backwards K while you can.
This is on the ground. Martin ranging to his right. He will throw to first, and there's the second out.
And that's a pitch, a fastball right down the middle that he probably does not want to be throwing to the top of this Big Train order, but he's facing the 9-hitter Franklin, and I like the mindset. Go right at him because you can't do that with guys like Williamson, Diaz, Gonzalez, who are in the top part of this Big Train order.
Speaking of the top part of the Big Train order, here's
here we
Christopher
go.
Diaz, their leadoff man, who will hit with 2 outs and a swing and miss there. What do you like from Carls since that first inning?
It's been really that adjustment where he's been sitting low in the strike zone with all of his stuff, getting ground balls,
Getting
pitching
whiffs?
to contact, getting whiffs.
There's no whiff there, right at Martin, and he can't make the play. That will get into center. Best there to field it. And that is the second hit for Diaz. Just the second hit of this game for the Train. Again, both off of his bat.
He's just seeing something off the bat tonight, or off the hand of Nick Carls. His first at bat, it was the fastball. This time, the slider that he gets a good piece of.
Now it's Williamson, the best hitter in this league. I know that, sometimes you can hear something like that and think, oh, okay, there's an exaggeration. But with this guy, I think he truly deserves that title. The summer that he is having is just unbelievable. That will just miss outside, and it's 1-1 to Williamson.
Well, we talk about my little OPS spreadsheet. He is at the top of that list, OPS plus 184. That means he is hitting 84% above league average. The next guy on that list is at 167, meaning they're hitting 67% above league average. So Williamson has been far and away the best hitter in this league this year, and it's been fun to watch for the Big Train.
Swing and miss there, though. The second of this AB. Now, the Big Train, who love to run as much as any team in this league, it has not worked out for them against Giants backstops this season. You wonder if they will keep that in mind. That'll miss low, and the count is full to Williamson. It's not Barham White behind the plate today. It is McNally. But McNally still with a nice arm.
Oh, yeah, McNally can certainly throw a guy out behind the plate. A really good arm.
So full count to Williamson. Runner goes, and it's popped up. Center field. Who's got it best? He makes the catch. And despite a tiny bit of traffic, Carls keeps his cool, and we will head to the bottom of the third here at Criswell Automotive Field. Masa Kawashima. He is a favorite among the other guys on this team. They love this dude and his work ethic, Sammy. And
Had his first home run as a Giant yesterday.
I was just about to say, you know, something I love about him is he's got some sneaky pop. First pitch to Masa will miss outside.
I would not be surprised. In fact, I think I would be surprised if I don't see him square to bunt, because he does that a lot. I mean, leading off as the 9-hole hitter, it seems just right.
And Whitaker has done his homework. He's in the grass at third.
Yeah, they know that Kawashima is a really good bunter, and when he gets one down, it is going to be perfectly placed, and third baseman trying to do anything he can to get an advantage.
1-1. That's a strike. It does find the inside piece that Clements was looking for. Kawashima will be the first person to tell you he does not have pop, but he did show it off yesterday, and now he will foul that back to stay alive.
He absolutely does have pop. I mean, at the end of the day, all of these guys have pretty good pop.
Compared to you or I.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Kawashima among them. I mean, a lot of guys don't have any home runs this year.
Strike three called at 91, gets the inside bottom corner, and it is back-to-back punch-outs for Clements on either end of the inning break.
And Clements, after giving up hits to the first three Giants batters, has now set down 6 in order. He's looking really good. He has found his location, which was a little bit off at the beginning. And that is a gorgeous pitch. Front door with the curveball. Just ties Powell up in knots.
We talked about how much better Nick Carls looked. What have you seen that's different from Clements as he starts to get rolling here?
It's just locating. He was leaving some of his pitches out over the plate. And, got a piece of the catcher there.
That's fouled back into Constable, who's down. So it's 1-2.
With Clements.
And Powell's going to take Constable's going to take a second, as Powell will have to. Wait a second. He did get things going for the Giants with the single. He came around to score on a double play. or excuse me, an RBI single by Sheeler, then the double play by Kleiman brought Robbins around, who hit a double behind Powell. Giants looking for win number 20 tonight. I'll miss outside. Right now they're at 19 as number 19 stands in here with one away in the bottom of the third. 2-2. Powell takes. That will miss inside. That's a really good take at 88.
Not by much. Perfectly placed. Maybe a few inches, and he has a strike call right there.
Here's the full count pitch. Powell on the ground. Franklin will field it high. Throw perfect for out number 2.
And that's a pitch low and inside that is just really tough to hit hard and really tough to hit hard in the air. Powell, I think he hits that about as well as you can. 95 off the bat on the ground, but at the end of the day, a really good pitch from Clements just ties him up. There's nothing he could do except ground that to the left side.
Check swing by Robbins. That's a fair ball, and that's one way to get one of the Giants' best hitters out. 1-2-3 inning for Clements. We will be back for the top of the 4th. So Davin Whitaker will stand in against Nick Carls, who has not gotten any support since the first inning, but that's okay because he hasn't given up any runs since the first inning as well, and he will get a swing and miss there.
Well, how about this, Tyler? He has not allowed any balls to the outfield past the first 2 guys in their order.
Another ground ball, another ground out. Carls makes the play.
So the leadoff man, Diaz, he has 2 hits, a triple and a single. Those are the only 2 hits for Big Train today. Williamson has 2 flyouts to the outfield. After that, everything has been either a strikeout or in the infield, whether it be a pop-up or a ground ball.
You're right, Sammy.
Carls has been very effective. When he is good, this is what the scorecard is going to look like.
He has limited the train to contact that you can live with. And I think that that's been the key to his success tonight. Grounders with this defense are going to go a long way. Speaking of defense, how about Danny Sheeler unassisted at first for the 3rd time tonight?
And there once again, the changeup from Nick Carls. And it's almost like it just has like a weight in it or something right at the end, and it just falls out of the sky. A really tough pitch to hit when it has that downward break like it does.
On the ground and foul, left side by Jordan Crossland.
And I should specify, a tough pitch to hit in the air. It's dropping so much that all you can do as a hitter is chop it into the ground, and that's what the Big Train have been doing a lot of today.
And we'll bounce away from McNally, nobody on base. So if you were going to have a time for a ball to get away from the Giants' backstop, it would be here with no balls and nobody on. Strike two. Good location there. Low in the zone. That's where Carls likes to be at 83. And he just clips the outside black. Here's the 1-2. Does not get the call. He was starting off the mound. As were Martin and Kawashima, who could see that better than we can here. They thought it was a strike. It was not. It was outside. 2-2 coming. He got him looking. What a pitch from Carls for strike three. Crossland down with the bat on his shoulder. And we will be back for the bottom of the fourth. Can the Giants get some more here at Criswell? All right, let's just go back. Clement's back out there for the train, and we've got a special guest up here in the booth. Giants legend, Trey Martinez. Trey, Giants have never won a division title. Tonight, a win would go a long way to getting there. What does it mean to you to see this Giants team competing at the top of the league this year?
It would be pretty cool to see. Some people would probably say that I was the problem. Year after I leave, they figure it out and get it done. But it'll be awesome to see for sure.
Now, in your entire tenure, it kind of has felt like it's been the Big Train's title to lose, especially in the North Division. This year, they're good, 16-13, but the Giants have kind of had their number at times, as Sheeler will foul that one away. But talking to the players, even the new ones, they know what this rivalry means. But what do you think of the Giants being able to compete with them now?
I think in the past, everyone was just kind of scared. They won a lot of titles, and they bring guys from big schools in, and they come here to compete, and they're pretty good baseball players. But we try to tell our guys all the time, these guys are just college baseball players like you are. So keep the same mindset. Don't play up to your competition. Don't play down to your competition. Always step in the throat and don't let up.
1-2 here, and Sheeler's going to put it on the ground to third. Whitaker will throw. It's a light throw, but it's on target for out number one. And talking to the Giants hitters, specifically Brady Powell, who goes to Radford, he was saying, yeah, Big Train might have all these big guys, and it's just as you said. The power of friendship is strong within this Giants team. You see all these juggernauts, and the Giants are hanging right there with them with a couple of mid-major guys with the chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, for sure. The faster you can bond together over the summer as a team, the easier it becomes to win baseball games, I think. So, bonding is probably the biggest part of it. If you kind of go out there and you don't talk to anyone, you're just going to hate your summer. You want to enjoy it, and when you enjoy it, you want to learn. And these guys, I see them at the games I go to, they're constantly talking to each other and learning from each other, which I think is the best thing to do in summer ball.
We'll miss outside. It's 2-1. And not only are they here to learn, they're here to win, which I think is something that this team really has going for them that last year's team did not. How important is it to have a focused group over the summer?
So my big thing with summer ball is, you have to be here, right? Your coach assigns you to this league, assigns you to this team. It would be a lot more fun being here if you win. You have to be here. You might as well just win while you're here, right?
I completely agree with that. As that is hit off the end of the bat by Kleiman, and that'll fall in. And speaking of Kleiman, You know him well from last season. He goes to a 4-year school at Eastern Michigan, works his way up the depth chart, hits 350 this year. What'd you see out of him last summer that's led to his success?
He's actually changed his whole approach and the way he swings from last summer to now. He texted me a little bit throughout the spring, and I was watching the video of him. I'm like, you look like a completely different hitter, a completely different person. So their development at the school he's at is unbelievable. He wasn't, not like he was a bad hitter before, but the way they molded him into the hitter they want him to be, and his coachability, being able to listen and adapt to what they want is awesome.
He seems to be one of those guys as well in the dugout. We talk about being focused. He was here last year. Mm-hmm. He was on that team that won 12 games. They've won 19 now, and he's having a great time just coming out to the ballpark, because when you're winning, you're right.
Winning's always a lot more fun.
Everybody wants to come, and that gets below Crossland. Now, he plays in the outfield at Maryland, and I've seen him play there. He's a very good outfielder. That is not the first time that he's kind of gacked up a ball at second base against the Giants this year. How tough is it to play one position for college? They tell your summer ball coach, hey, we want to see him at this spot, and you kind of need to learn a whole new defensive position.
That's tough for sure. You're trying to adapt to a new baseball field as well. So, when you play on an all-turf field, such as Maryland, you play on an all-turf field and you're used to those bounces, those hops. It's going to be completely different than what you're seeing on grass and dirt. Especially moving from outfield to infield, that's a big jump. You're usually catching balls in the air, and these guys, they're on the ground taking weird hops. Got to, get the ball out a little quicker than normal. It's definitely a little weird for sure.
The Criswell hop is something that the fielders on this team have
you love it
raved
on
about.
offense, not so much on defense.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. But you're swinging the bat here. I feel like that dirt, that magic dirt, it's your best friend. But when you're trying to square up a ball, it's not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, the biggest thing is trying to get it to the dirt. If you hit it in the grass, it's going to get...
It's going to die.
Yeah, it's going to get all caught up in the grass. Maybe a little slow roller and you'll be able to get the first base, but you want to try to get in the dirt, get a bad hop for that infielder, or get it past the infielder, get some runners in scoring position.
Now here we have a guy, Andrew Holub. I know we've already talked about mid-major guys, how hungry they are, how they've got that chip on their shoulder. Here's a Power 5 guy in Holub. He's going to Iowa. He's got a big bat, and he will take ball 3. I think that it is kind of important to have a few guys that play at that top level of college ball in your ranks to really, I would say, match up well with those guys from mid-majors.
Yeah, for sure. You want to try to bring guys from a bunch of different schools together. You look at the Giants, you got JUCO guys, and...
Here's the ball hit. That gets through! This time it's Franklin that can't make the play. There's another run on the board. Kleiman comes home. They'll score it as a hit, and it's 3-1 to the hosts.
There's your Criswell hop for you.
Yep, there you go. The Criswell infield giveth, and it taketh away from the train. And now we've got a pitching meeting here. But if you're an infielder, you see your buddy mess up a ball. Is that in your head?
If it's in your head, the ball's going to find you. The ball will always find you. So, I think on a field like this, or, most of the fields in the league, they're pretty nice, but you get some bad hops here and there. You just got to put a body on it.
Now, you look at Bethesda's ballpark, and you look at Criswell, and I think that in itself kind of shows the juggernaut versus the power of friendship dynamic of this rivalry. The big train infielders are not used to playing on dirt like this. And I think that helps out the Giants, and you see the Giants infielders, they take reps in BP, they do whatever they can to try to get comfortable. And I give them a lot of credit for that. That comes inside, almost hits Matt Best. But 2 returning bats for the Giants team. A lot more returning pitchers. How important do you think that is? As you spent multiple summers here, this ball's hit well. A diving catch in right. And a double play at first. An unbelievable play by Diaz in right field. And he has been really the key man for the train so far in this game. Can you stay for one more half inning, Trey?
Absolutely, I'll stay as long as you want me to.
That's awesome. All right, more of a Trey Martinez when we come back. What a play. Welcome back to Gaithersburg. I'm Tyler Lochte. He is Sammy Krimstein, and Giants legend Trey Martinez with us for another half inning. Now, Trey, you just said it's your first time ever coming up here to the fabled press box. How many years did you spend with the Giants?
I think about 7.
And you
4,
never wandered up here?
No, I never had any interest in walking up here. The door is always closed, so, when the door's closed.
This ball's hit well in the air to right. Robbins ranging to his left. He'll make the play for out number 1. Not a diving catch, but they all count the same. So in your time in Gaithersburg, you've shared the field. You've coached guys that have gone on to pro ball and done great things. Is it weird to, turn on the TV and see some of those guys?
For me, it's not weird. Like, those are just my friends, So, especially the guys that I played with, those are my friends, the guys that I spent a whole summer with.
There's a strike to Bastion.
And, it's not that weird. But, to other people, it might be a little weird. Like, when I go to Orioles games and I'm, seeing Westberg there, I'll see him after the game. But I'm, there's a bunch of these kids are getting out of my way so I can walk down there and see him, which I think is kind of weird.
That is, you bring up Westberg, who there's an argument to be made that he is the greatest Giant, just based off of what he has done in the bigs. Should have been an all-star this year.
Yeah, I'll give him that one. It's probably me and him up there for the
time. I'm sure you're the sentimental choice, Trey.
Yeah, his numbers were probably a little better than mine,
But again, just to see a guy who played here, what does that mean to this clubhouse? Where, that's as if to say, at one point, there's Jordan Westberg. He's in your shoes, and now he's in the big leagues producing. If he can do it, so can anybody who's on this team.
Right, I think the biggest thing is no matter where you go, you're going to get noticed if you're playing well enough, right?
There's been plenty of guys, as the back pick is a little bit late, there's been plenty of guys from this league that have gone on to the MLB. 3 former Giants have made it. And if you want to count Dylan Cruz as a Giant, he was a rostered Giant in 2020. He might be next up. 1-0, this is on the ground to Martin. There's one. The throw from Massa in time. A double play. And Trey, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
I apologize for that half inning being so brief, but we do appreciate your time coming back to this team. And let's hope the Giants can close it out and clinch your playoff berth today with the W.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That would be awesome for sure.
All right, we will be back for the bottom of the 5th. Giants looking for more runs. They lead 3. Let's come back.
Yeah.
You know, Sammy, we were just talking here in the booth, to our Lochte, Sammy Krimstein, about the in-game interview, and that's a luxury that we've been really afforded in our time with Gaithersburg. It's a cool skill to work on.
Oh,
And
absolutely is.
We thank Trey Martinez for coming up here, spending an inning with us.
New pitcher for the big train. It's Aiden Rittenauer. And very different than the starter Clements. Not a lot of velocity, but he's a funky guy who will come at you with a lot of different looks.
And we'll miss down low.
I mean, even just his delivery, the way he rocks back, brings his right arm almost to the dirt, and then brings it up like a catapult. I mean, you don't see more over-the-top deliveries than this guy. Think the opposite of Aiden Gonzalez, who's the infamous side armor, of course, for the Giants.
Ethan McNally at the plate. Oh, it comes inside and hits him. So if you're the Giants right now, you feel like you were just gifted a run, but at the same time you were robbed of maybe a lot more after that unreal catch by Diaz and Wright.
Yeah, a great catch, a really good defensive play in an inning where the big train were uncharacteristically rough around the edges on defense. A few errors, just sloppy play that Sal Colangelo's teams usually do not make.
Well, the problem with the train defense this year has been up the middle. Kawashima gets down a bunt. Rittenauer can't handle it. Everybody's safe. It's a bunt single for Kawashima, something he's a lot more comfortable doing than homering.
You know, I've seen a lot of Kawashima the past few weeks, and I don't think I've seen him get thrown out when he's tried to bunt for a hit.
No,
Like,
he's
every
an
time.
incredible bunter.
Every time. It is in the perfect spot, and I just love how that puts pressure on the defense. That's why Kawashima's in this lineup.
He's an unbelievable bunter.
Unbelievable bunter, and I just love that. It's so unique, and it throws a whole nother layer into this Giants lineup.
And here's what I like about guys who are really good at bunting. It's such a repetition thing to be good at. If you want to be a good bunter, you've got to work for it. And it seems that Kawashima has. He has put in the time. Remember, first day he got here, he was in the cage for, an hour, a full hour before anybody else even showed up. And the work has paid off. What a great weapon to have. And now Powell will get under it, high in the air to left. Left center, that is, and Williamson is there. Runners will stay put. They're not going to test the arm of Andrew Williamson at center. And now it's Aiden Robbins, and you talk about a guy that you want to have up in this spot.
Absolutely. Robbins, a guy who's going to have to adjust here this at-bat. He likes facing velocity, and when he faces guys who are a little bit lower velo, he tends to get out ahead of it a little bit. So with a lower velo pitcher up, I want to see him just way back a little bit and pounce, because when he pounces, oh man, it's fun to watch.
The numbers that he puts up, batted ball data, unbelievable. He's got a big swing, and he shows it off there at a middle pitch at 81, and that's one that he would like to have back.
That is a pitch that he is going to be thinking about, but hopefully he gets another one, and you know he's not going to miss another opportunity like that.
No, he's not. Now that he's seen it.
This one's from Lisa. I don't know if here you go.
Here's the 0-1. Robbins down the line and out of play.
And for Robbins, for all these Giants hitters, really, it's a big adjustment, because Clements, he was throwing his curveball almost 80 miles per hour. Now you got Rittenauer, who's throwing his fastball around the same velocity.
It's a different look.
It's a completely different look, and I like the thinking from manager Sal Colangelo, where the Giants are not going to have to make this huge adjustment.
0-2 fouled back. Good job by Robbins to stay alive.
And you can see each pitch he sees, he's getting his timing a little bit closer to where he wants it. Almost timed that one up, just a smidge off, and foul tipped it away. But I think if Rittenauer leaves another pitch over the plate, Aiden Robbins will not let him forget it.
0-2 is inside.
And that's where he's been missing a lot. Arm side. He hit the first batter of the inning, McNally, of course, missing arm side there.
But if you're the Giants right now, you cannot let the opportunity of 2 on and nobody out go to waste. Robbins will foul that one off. And again, we wonder how many guys can the train throw tonight. They have listed 6 possible bullpen arms. They now used 1 in written wire. But you wonder how many of the other guys just have shown up or that Sal Colangelo really wants to see them pitch. In a division race like this, you want all hands on deck. Robbins, a bouncer foul. And this is tough, Sammy, because it's not just about tonight. The train are the team that's chasing. Every game for them is more important at this stage than every game for the Giants. The Giants can afford to have an off night or 2 and still win the division. They lead by 3 games. Now, tonight, if you're the Giants, you don't want to be an off night, but
They can afford it more than the big train.
yes, they can. And Robbins hits it well in the air, center field. Williamson back. He will make the catch. McNally's going to try to tag, and the throw is in to second, so there will be runners on the corners with 2 outs for the conductor, Danny Sheeler.
The conductor. I love that. That's a good nickname.
Were you not here yet for the memes? Did you not?
I don't think I was.
So
This is my first time hearing it.
After he walked off the big train, we found a really old picture of him, and I found just an emoji of a train conductor hat, like a cartoon hat, put it on his head, and then Daniel wrote the train conductor. It was posted.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love that. That's
so
great.
That is his hard-earned nickname. Can the conductor come through again? Check out first.
Well, the big trainer certainly shaking
They
in their
know.
boots when he comes up.
Yes.
They remember. Was it the last time these teams played at this park, right?
Yes, it was. The only other time this year
Yeah.
that the train have come here to Criswell. Kawashima's going to take off. The throw, there's no tag. And now there's 2 in scoring position for the train conductor. Can he conduct maybe a run or 2 here?
And I like that they're sending Kawashima there because now you got 2 speedy guys in scoring position where a base hit could very easily be 2 runs.
Huge spot in this one. 0-1. Sheeler takes, high and away, and the count is even.
For Sheeler, the approach has to be think the other way. Outer half, with the guy who's not throwing with a lot of velocity, you have to think opposite field so you're not ahead of the pitch.
And Sheeler will hit this one well. Right center field, long run for Williamson, and he gets there. Giants strand 2 in scoring position with 3 straight flyouts to center. Carl's back out there when we come back for the top of the 6th. Landon Franklin will stand in, top of the 6th inning. Again, what's at stake here tonight? The big train can cut the Giants' division lead down to 2 with the win tonight, which would really get them back on track.
Absolutely.
And if the Giants win, that would clinch a playoff berth, their first since 22, as that's hit in to center field for a base knock for Franklin, and he's now 1 for 2.
And as the big train hitters have seen Carl's a second time through, the at-bats have been better, the swings have been better. Now it's back to the top of the order, so a third time seeing the starting pitcher, Nicholas Carls. And give him credit, he's back out here to face him for a third time. But I think this is where TJ Brockway will start to think about the bullpen, because a third time through the order is always where you start to have those discussions. Him and Vinny Capozza, I'm sure, are talking in the dugout.
I agree. Carls has been on, so the Giants, I'm sure, would like to keep him out there for as long as they can. That's fouled away. Some score updates for you. Ace is up 2-0 on the Grays. Giants, of course, up 3-1 here. Metro Braves have tied the Senators. That game is 2-2. And the Crop Dusters and T-Bolts, 11-11. I think that game is in the 5th inning. It's 14-11 now. I'll miss down low.
Wow.
So pitching
that's a crazy
optional,
number
I
there.
guess, and only tonight. That game started an hour and a half before this one. And they are
We're
only
almost caught up
one
to them.
inning
Yeah.
ahead. That is unbelievable. 2-1. That finds the zone. That's a really good pitch. You don't want to see Diaz, the one guy who has really shown up to play today for the Train, with the 3-1 count. He made that diving catch, a triple and a single with his bat as well. And he checks his swing. He did not go, and this count is full. And you talk about a big pitch in this game right here.
And if Carls can put it low and away, I'm looking for the changeup right here. But really, anything that paints that bottom part of the strike zone, that's where he's got to live.
Instead, it's ripped into right, the third hit of this game for Diaz. And if not for him, where would the big train be? I mean, it has been his best effort tonight.
I mean, Diaz hasn't been hitting in that leadoff spot for too long for the big train, and seemingly he is loving it because he's 3 for 3 tonight with a run. The only run for the big train. But now they're threatening again, and it's the best hitter in the league, Williamson.
0 for 2, well, 0 for 1 tonight, and a sacrifice fly. And Williamson swings at the first pitch, hits it in the air to center. Best back at the wall. He leaps, and this time he got it. Redemption for Matt Best to keep it 3-1. You talk about a big-time play in center. Wow. 93 off the bat, and Carls just got away with a pitch middle at 82 to the league's best hitter.
Wow. What a catch.
And TJ Brockway is going to argue that Landon Franklin went early. So the Giants are now going to throw to second after this appeal, and we will see what the umpires say. It looked to me like he may have left early.
I was too
because
busy,
I don't think
too
he
busy
thought-
gawking at the catch in center field, if I'm being
I don't
perfectly
think
honest.
that Franklin saw that catch be made. I think he just was waiting and then took off. If I'm the Giants, absolutely I throw to second, and they will just call him safe.
But, I mean, what a
So
ridiculous
now
play.
Carls is going to turn around, and he wants somebody to maybe stand on second. No. Giants will not throw down, and They will just attack here. If only we had replay review. Now it's David Whitaker. He's grounded out twice. A ground out would do the trade no good now. And instead he lifts it in the air, left field, and out of play. Strike one.
And you mentioned it. Carl's got away with a fastball right down the middle. Not where he wants to miss. To that hitter.
To that guy.
But his defense is behind him, and that's what I love about this team. Everyone is there to back each other up.
Both teams now have a run-saving catch in the outfield. That's down the line and foul again. So if you're the Giants, you can breathe a little bit easier now after Best robs Williamson. And the Grays have tied the Aces 3-3. A Grays win tonight and a Giants win tonight would put Gaithersburg in first place of the entire league and on track for the 1 seed. They got to focus here, though. 0-2. It's weakly hit. Holub can't get it. Kawashima tries. And his throw is not in time. And, Davin Whitaker is hobbling behind. They're going to need to look at him. And now Vinny Caposa is going to take this natural break to go out and have a conversation with Carls as they're loaded up for Gonzalez.
Not the spot the Giants want to be in to Gonzalez, who was the hitter of the week last week in the Cal Ripken League.
You have a ball that leaves the bat at 47 miles an hour.
But it's in the right spot, and that's the lovely thing about this game. You could do all the right things and get the wrong results, and you could do all the wrong things and get the right results. And when you hit a ball 47 miles per hour, usually that will be an out. But in this case, for the big train, it loads the bases.
Well, that time, Criswell works against the Giants, and the ball died so fast in that grass. That's the problem. So Whitaker is going to try to stay in this game, despite what appears to be a leg injury.
He would be a huge blow for the big train. He's been a big component of the middle of their order throughout the season, and just brings a really good presence to this team.
And now it's Gonzalez in the biggest spot of this game. And for the Giants, the biggest spot that they will have to pitch to so far this year. And a swing and miss starts us off.
A gorgeous pitch. Nothing more I would have wanted out of him for that first pitch. A changeup with, again, that late bite that makes it tough to square up.
0-1, popped up. Kawashima is going to call this. Let's see if the train get aggressive. No. That is a huge out for Nick Carls in what may be his last inning. He's trying to keep the train at 1. But a massive, massive out against a very dangerous hitter.
Yeah, that's huge. Kind of the opposite of what has been effective for him. That time, I think he actually misses, but he misses so high in the zone that Gonzalez gets out ahead of it and pops it straight into the evening sky.
Crossland takes. That's high. Well, it was Crossland whose error indirectly led to a Giant run. He has struck out and grounded out tonight. Can he come through right now? Strike one from Carls. And every pitch now feels, you really can feel the weight of this game. Here's the 1-1. Crossland bouncer Holub steps on the bag. And Carls gets through 6. Giants up 3-1. He needed to have his best stuff, and tonight he has. If his day is done, how do you evaluate that start?
As good as you could ask for. Nick Carls, who had only pitched 2 times this season, we haven't seen him in 2-3 weeks, comes out here and looks like the Nick Carls of last season that led the Giants to, he had a sub 1.5 ERA, right? Was so good, and he was everything they could have asked for tonight. Pitching to contact, trusting his defense. I'm looking briefly through my scorecard. I only have 2 strikeouts on his night. That's called pitching to contact trusting your defense. He did a great job of that, and
Yeah, he had 2 backwards Ks. He pitched to contact the rest of the night. And for a guy who really needed that start, it has, compared to last summer, he has not reached his potential, you can say. We know what he's capable of, and finally he goes out there and he shows the big train what he can do. Giants needed a start tonight more than they have all year long, and Carl's is giving it to him. We'll see if he comes back, and we will step away going into the bottom of the Brendan Kleinman will stand in now.
had to knock his last time.
A guy whose approach at the plate you really like, Sammy.
I really do like his approach at the plate. It worked for him in the spring where he really just turned into one of the best hitters on his team over at Eastern Michigan. But I've really liked what he's been able to do this season because he's getting on base more than he did last year. He has been patient, but when he gets something to hit, he's ready for it, and that's really what makes a good hitter.
Climbing down the line just foul.
It's that patient yet aggressive attitude that may seem contradictory, but is really the mindset that powers a lot of the best hitters you'll see at any level.
You got to find that balance. 1-2. Climbing off the end of the bat and into the top of the net. So I wonder right now what the Giants are going to do on the mound going forward in this game. Part 1, step 1, has been
Complete.
handed to you. Climbing. He's going to hit that to short. Franklin, long throw. Wow. He makes up for his mistake in a big way there. He shows off the arm to retire Climbing.
And that's a play, if you have scouts in the audience with their notebooks, that's a play that's going to get his name written down because it shows that he has an arm over there at shortstop, making a throw, moving the other direction on the run. I mean, that's a long throw. And on a football field, that's like maybe 30 yards at least. So, really showing the arm there.
And he is hit past Franklin there, just as I was singing his praises.
And the broadcaster jinx strikes yet again. I think, as I mentioned, every broadcast, there's a time for it. That was our time. We were just singing Franklin's praises at shortstop. And the very next play, a ball's hit his way. He can't get in front of it. But that's good for the Giants, and that's what happens when you hit the baseball hard. Even good fielders will make mistakes.
So it's scored as a hit. I'm not sure if it's going to stay that way. But as of now, it is. All right, a hit. It remains, I guess. That's pretty generous there to Mr. Franklin. I'm sure he will not complain. Holub will foul that off of his foot.
And I doubt A.J. Martin will complain because now it is his 19th straight game.
There we
with
go.
A base knock.
Wow.
I mean,
Unbelievable.
I'm getting Joe DiMaggio vibes right now.
I was talking to him the other day. He said he's never had anything like this 19-game hit streak. Bouncer in there. That's a waste of an 0-2 pitch, and it's 1-2 now.
Yeah, he was trying to get a chase there, but just nothing doing. Missed his spot, chucked it into the dirt. Yeah, Joe DiMaggio, 56 consecutive games. Of course, the longest hit streak in Major League history, which is ridiculous, by the way.
Martin's going to go, and Holub is going to lift this to center. Martin's going to have to hurry back. Crossland will throw. It gets away! Another error by Jordan Crossland keeps A.J. Martin on base. The shortest of throws are sometimes the hardest. And Crossland has his second error tonight.
That's one of the more exciting plays, one of the underrated exciting plays on a baseball diamond. When a base runner is way off the bag and has to chase back, it's really like a race. And I don't know who would have won it, but the error gives Martin the benefit of the doubt at first base.
Wow. Giants will take that, especially if Best can find something here with his bat.
Best really looking to find something. He's now 1 for his last 17. And as I said, this is a guy with great bat-to-ball skills. He's putting the ball in play a lot, just not finding the grass like he wants to.
We'll miss outside. One. Best. Foul that into the net. You know what? Actually, Sammy, and you've played more recently than me, and this is kind of a fringe baseball knowledge thing. Is that an error if the runner does not advance? It's a bad
That's a good
play.
question.
It's a bad play. That will miss down and away. I don't know.
I don't know if that counts as an error.
I don't know.
Because
Either way,
really there's nothing to attest to it, when you look at your scorecard.
It was an out that should have been made, and it was not.
It was a defensive yes, absolutely.
A defensive opportunity that was missed. Martin's going to go, and Best is going to pop it up, and Martin doesn't need to worry about getting back now. Crossland, one thing he can do is catch fly balls, and he will do that yet again, and we will head to the 7th here from Criswell. Noah Tabai on the mound. Sammy, he's been pretty good this year.
Noah Tabai has been good this year, especially as of late. His last 3 outings, no earned runs, no hits, only 2 walks. That is in 3 2/3 innings of work. So his ERA on the year in the mid-4s, but he has been heating up lately, and that is why Brock Way goes to him in this massive spot. At this point, the Giants are chasing outs. They need 9 more of them to lock this thing down, and for now, Tabai's the guy they trust.
So Carl's day is done. He went 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run. It was earned. 2 punch-outs and no walks.
No walks is what I want to emphasize. He wasn't perfect, but he didn't hurt himself.
No, he didn't.
And that's what makes a good starting pitcher especially, because you can't afford to hurt yourself when you have to take your team deep into a game.
He gave the Giants his 6th best innings this year. That will miss about an inch low. Is it enough to take down the train? 2-1, hit hard, right at Massa, he's got it. And for a reliever, it always seems to be the first batter that is the biggest to overcome.
And yeah, that's Skoronsky, who showed his clutch gene, walked off the Aces last night in Bethesda, trying to get something started here for Bethesda, who's had a quiet night on offense. Just gets jammed on a well-placed fastball by Tabai.
That's a bouncer foul. So it's the 6, 7, 8 hitters up here in this top half of the 7th. Jaden Bastian up now as he fouls away the first pitch he sees. And if you're Tabai, this is a huge inning where you got to hang a 0 here, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's, I think, a good thing for him that he can ease into this game without having to see the top of the big train order. He can work his way up to that if they keep him out there for the 8th.
It's a good pitch, but he doesn't get the call. And it's 1-1.
A good slider, absolutely, and that's where you want it, but just misses his spot. Nothing to worry about, though. Count still even at 1-1.
That will just miss high, and I mean just, and that's 2 close pitches called balls. And now it's 2-1. Senators are up on the Braves right now. That's big for the Giants. Bastion pops it up and out of play.
Oh God, heads
Look
up.
out down there. Ooh.
Wow. A close call on the soccer field. I think it missed a guy by maybe 2 feet and his back was turned.
Yeah.
You gotta get someone yelling a heads up over there. It was a close call.
2-2. Misses down low. Tabai does not get the chase from Bastion. And I think a big reason why the Train have been so good this year has been that they are so willing to take walks. And tonight the Giants have not yet walked a Train batter, but Tabai could do that here if he misses the zone. He will not. He will get a swing there and a foul. And this AB will continue.
I mentioned a few moments ago how it's good that Tabai can ease in that pitch right over the middle of the plate, one that he probably won't want to serve up to Diaz, who has 3 hits tonight, or Williamson, or Gonzalez.
Yeah, if that's to Williamson, although he's already gotten a middle pitch tonight.
He very nearly got one out of here.
Yes, he did. Full count pitch from Tabai. Popped up and out of play again. Good job by Bastion here to stay alive.
And this is frustrating for the Giants because at this point of the game, they want to move through the big train order fast. They want Tabai to go as long as possible, and unfortunately for them, Bastion just is having an incredible at-bat.
And Bastion will lift this in the air. Right field, back is Robbins. He will take a step in now and make the play, and there's 2 outs. And Tabai, he seems comfortable right now.
Throwing strikes. And comfortable is a good word to use,
Yeah.
Tyler, because sometimes guys come into these spots out of the bullpen and out of the gate not quite comfortable. As a helicopter here at Criswell Automotive Field, I must point out.
Thanks, Sammy.
No, well, it's got to be the national TV networks covering
Yes.
this huge game.
There's an
course.
argument to be made, and this is an argument that I make in complete ignorance of what's going on outside of this league, but this might be the best matchup anywhere in the nation tonight, with what's on the line and the rivalry that these 2 teams share. A big hack there by Constable. Not been his night. He struck out in the 3rd looking. Then he grounded into a double play to end the 5th. Now he is the Train's last hope in the top of the 7th inning, and now they are a strike away from coming up empty again. The first batter of this game for the Big Train is their only run. Here's the 0-2. Just low there from Tabai. And again, this is a big out because that sets up 9-1-2 rather than 1-2-3 in the 8th. If Tabai can find a way here.
And that distinction is more important than I think you could realize.
Especially with Diaz having a 3-hit night. He's seen the ball better than anybody on either team. The 1-2 bounces in again.
So he goes the chase slider, the chase fastball, both in the dirt. I wonder if he'll try and change eye levels here. Maybe go upwards with the fastball to try and get a chase.
He's certainly set it up. What a big out this would be if Tabai can get a punch out. Constable gets just a piece.
Just a piece, and I don't know how he stayed in there on that one. A pitch whipping out of his reach, a slider, and he just gets a piece of wood on it, and that's what you got to do with 2 strikes. Keep yourself going.
So a dusting off of the plate by the home plate ump. Again, the Giants can clinch a playoff berth tonight with a win or a Braves loss. They're winning, Braves are losing. But they're focused right here and now, and Noah Tabai! Huge punch out. He's got a 1-2-3 inning. And the Giants are 6 outs away. Can they make it easier for themselves with some insurance in the bottom half of the 7th? It's time to stretch here at Criswell.
Coming up for the Giants to start things off, it's going to be McNally. The catcher for Gaithersburg. He's facing a new pitcher for Bethesda. It'll be Kevin Scully.
One of their many, and I mean many, weapons out of the pen. How good has this guy been this year?
Kevin Scully, how about a 2.07 ERA, 16 strikeouts in 13 innings, of work.
Only 3 walks from him. We'll find the zone there. 1-1.
He's another one of those power pitchers. Pretty hard fastball that can get around 90.
And the Giants are going to look back to that first inning and that little bit of insurance they got in the 4th as well, because imagine facing these arms when you're trailing. But then again, nobody comes back like the Train.
Well, they came back from down a lot last night.
6-0.
6-0.
Against the Aces, by the way.
So the Giants, this 2-run lead should not feel comfortable. They have not scored a run in quite some time. I believe it has been since the 4th inning. So they need to score some runs, I think.
They do.
Just something that can say, hey, we're not going anywhere, because complacency is a huge problem when you play the big Train.
Full count inside, and that is just the 4th walk of the season from Kevin Scully.
There we go. Vin Scully.
Shout out to Vin Scully. Inspiration to us all.
The GOAT. Undeniably.
The GOAT for baseball, the GOAT.
For baseball,
the GOAT.
The GOAT.
Has to be.
Oh, absolutely.
Nobody has ever called baseball better than he did. Kawashima's going to get another bunt down. It's another good one. Scully will throw him out, but the runner is into scoring position as the lineup flips over. Masa's done his job again.
Doesn't get a hit that time, but he does his job. What a play by Kevin Scully. With his bare hand on a ball that's pretty hard back to him, for a bunt at least.
You'll take that. And now you have the top of your lineup. Powell and Robbins are going to get a chance. A base hit could make it 4-1. Powell takes strike 1 at 87 middle high.
It seems that is going to be his spot, high in the strike zone. If he can get it inside, he will with the arm side run he has on it.
Here's the 0-1. Powell takes strike 2. Goes high in the zone, then low in the zone. Does Scully?
That one looked like a cutter. Good pitch.
Giants have to capitalize on that runner on second base. Can Powell be the one to do it? He's going to rip it foul. Well, I think above all else, what's the best thing to ask for as a broadcaster in a ball game is a close game. Because the drama in baseball is unlike anything else. You know, you have the dramatic pause. It's horrible for the nerves. But boy, is it fun to navigate a game like this. Powell will take high. Especially with so much on the line as well.
Well, this one just feels like a playoff game.
It does.
It really
It essentially
kind of is a
in a way.
playoff game, yeah.
Because if the Giants win this game, that almost clinches that first round bye luxury that they have never been afforded, as they've never won the division. Powell on the ground. That sounds like it breaks. The out will be made at first, but the runner moves up.
I like the Giants' situational hitting. Kawashima does his job, moves a guy from first to second. A ground out for Powell, doing his job, moving McNally from second to third.
And now it's the tribal chief, Aiden Robbins.
Another great nickname, by the way.
Let's see if he can come through. And what could be his biggest hit for this team. He will take high. Well, if anybody's going to come through, it's either him or the guy after him who walked him off earlier this year. Then you got Kleiman and Martin. Robbins fouls it away and knocks a ball out of the net in doing so, and now it's 1-1.
Saves someone a trip on the ladder to go get that one, so shout out Aiden Robbins.
If Robbins can find a way to come through here, oh boy. He takes inside.
And Tyler, patience is key here, and Robin's really showing that. You want to get a good pitch to hit. Not any ball in play is going to do the job. You have to hit it hard, and you have to get it on a line into the outfield, ideally.
Here's the 2-1. Robbins fouls it away again.
And if you need someone to hit the ball hard, this is your guy. So it's a good spot for him. 2 strikes now, and he could still certainly hit the ball hard with 2 strikes, but he's going to have to shorten up and try and put a ball in play.
2-2. Robbins, bouncer to short. Franklin, throw has to be perfect, and it is. A run-saving play by the shortstop Landon Franklin. It's 3-1 as we head to the top of the 8th. Let's come back and talk about it. No, Tobias back out there, but RI has moved to what in the world is going on in Olney. 28 runs, and they are in the top of the 8th, as are we. What?
You got a football score. 4th quarter. Ooh. Yeah, I realized.
Pitch from Tobias is low. 14-14 on 22 hits total. Just a hilarious baseball game they're playing over there in Olney.
7 combined errors between the two
Ah,
teams.
there it is. That'll check out. Well, what's funnier to me is, as the count goes to 2-0, what's funnier to me is that the team with 5 errors is against the team that has 14 hits. So how in the world, on 2 errors and 8 hits, do the Crop Dusters have 14 runs? A lot of walks, I'm sure. 2-0. Ripped foul. So this is Franklin. He's 1 for 2 tonight. And after him comes Diaz, then Williamson.
This is a guy you gotta get because you don't want to put runners on base for the top of this big train order.
Who could tie it with 1 swing. 2-1. Just low.
And just low. A really good pitch from Tobias, who I've been impressed with since he's come into the game. He's only had 1 inning of work so far, but it was real good.
Yes, it was. Trying to avoid the leadoff walk here. And he will. And Franklin does not like that call. I will say the big train, not as much talk from them tonight as the last time, but then again, not as much from the Giants either. That was a loudmouth game from both sides. There just has not been much in the way of contentious calls tonight. This has popped up to second. Martin gets there as the bat flew out of the hand of Franklin, and the Giants are now 5 outs away as the lineup flips over. Big out from Tobias.
Big out. I couldn't tell if the bat broke or if it just flung from his hand. Was that what happened?
I could not tell either. Giants will take it. If Tabai could give them 2 innings tonight, can't really state how important that is, and what a decision that is by Diaz to show bunt on a night where he has seen the ball better than any other.
That's big train baseball for you.
He's
Small
3
ball.
for 3. And that's why the 2-run cushion is so big. That's a strike, despite the acting job by Diaz. So 1-1 now to Diaz. Again, I am stunned that he is showing bunt right now after the night he's having. That comes inside. It does not hit him. So 2-1 count, 1 out. From Noah Tabai to Christopher Diaz. He's tried his best to get a walk here. And now he's 1 strike away from a punch-out.
Putting him down would be huge. He's reached on 3 hits today.
You do not want anyone on base for Williamson. He can tie it with 1 swing.
And you don't want to give him that chance.
No. You don't want to see the big train have a chance to bunt, steal. That's ball 3. Oof. Lost my count. So Wyatt Adams is out there. Jackson Bauer is out there. I'm talking about the Giants' pen.
2 guys who pitched yesterday.
Maybe Tanner Sanderoff. Could we see him tonight? There's options. Full count. Strike 3 called! What a pitch by Tabai! Wow! That is 5 huge outs from Noah Tabai, and now he will face Williamson. And the worst that can happen is it's a 1-run game.
Hey, but the way Tabai's been pitching, this is a matchup I'm looking forward to. And Williamson still yet to have a hit. He is 15 consecutive games with a hit heading into play today.
And he pops it up and out of play, and this might be his last chance. He's the only player in the league right now that's sniffing A.J. Martin's now 19-game hit streak. And again, this at-bat may be his last opportunity. He takes strike 2.
2 great pitches back-to-back, working east to west.
Can Tabai find a strike? And give the Giants 2 huge innings. Here's the pitch. Just outside, and I mean just. And now the big train bench makes noise.
That's a gutsy take from Williamson. Very easily could have been strike 3.
Wow. Tabai will try it again. And this time it's drilled into right center. How much will that call hurt the Giants? Tying run is going to bat here in the top of the 8th after a 2-out double by the league's best bat.
How about a 2-out, 2-strike double after a pitch that very well could have been a strike? Right on the edge of the strike zone. As 50-50 of calls you're going to see. That one off the bat at 100 miles per hour. Williamson already squared one up tonight, almost hit one out, was robbed at the wall by Matthew Best, and finally gets something down to extend his hit streak to now 16 games.
And now David Whitaker can tie it with 1 swing. And he will swing and foul it away 0-1. And if you're Noah Tabai, you thought you had Williamson on strikes. Now you've got to refocus.
Yeah.
Big Train making a lot of noise from their dugout, trying to get in Tabai's head. And it's hit in the air. Kawashima calls. Kawashima catches. 2 huge innings from Noah Tabai. And we will head to the bottom of the 8th. Giants' last chance for insurance here on the Giants Broadcast Network.
Ready?
Leading off the bottom of the 8th for the Giants, first baseman number 46, Danny Sheeler.
What better way to start off the bottom of the 8th than the train conductor, Danny Sheeler?
Sheeler walking up to some Bob Marley.
I like
Great
it.
choice. Really good choice. Had a single in the first inning. Hasn't reached since, but
His defense at first base.
has been key for the Giants today.
Yes, it has. Can he get the Giants off on the right foot here in the 8th? The swing and miss on the first pitch. Well, we had Kevin Scully last inning. Now we have Jack Robinson here in the 8th.
Is this the Brooklyn Dodgers?
Might be. Another swing and miss there by Sheeler. 0-2. I mean, we do have the baby blues down there on the field. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Down on strikes with 3 whiffs is Sheeler.
And Sheeler's going to want that first pitch back. It was a changeup right down the middle of the plate at 81 miles per hour. That's one that he saw, his eyes lit up. He took a huge hack at it, missed, and then the pitcher Robinson made some really good pitches following.
So now it's Brendan Kleinman. Can he find a hit here in the 8th? He's off to a good start, 1-0. Tension very high here in Gaithersburg tonight. 1-0 off the end of the bat and foul. So again, if the Giants win this game, they clinch a playoff spot. This game is ahead of the Braves game, so it's in the Giants' hands, as it should be. 1-1, that clips the zone outside bottom corner at 88. It was close.
Real close. Another 50-50 call that goes the Big Train's way.
Another one. 1-2. Off the end of the bat of Kleiman. Crossland. This time the throw on target. And there's 2 outs.
Second baseman number 7, A.J. Martin.
2 quick outs. Give credit to Robinson, who comes in this game and, so far at least, doing his job, trying to keep it right where it is. The Big Train, they're going to need 2 runs in the top of the 9th to keep playing baseball tonight.
And if there's any team in the Cal Ripken League, no, in baseball, that you would expect to do it, it's them.
In all of the land.
Nobody stays in games like them.
It's true.
And you know their dugout is going to be making a lot of noise at whoever is going to be on the mound for that pivotal inning. 0-1. Comes inside, it almost hits Martin, and the count is even. Here to number 7. The Giants' OPS plus leader, A.J. Martin. He takes. That's ball 2. Well, top of the 9th is going to be, I would say, unless if the Giants find a way here with 2 outs to get some more runs on the board. Top of the 9th is going to be the most tense inning of baseball, of Giants baseball, that I think I've ever called.
Well, this game has just been a gridlock.
It has.
We've been stuck at 1-3 since the 4th inning.
It's popped up and into the net.
So, yeah, it's been on the edge of bursting all night long, and in the 9th inning, it's going to be even closer. So, the tensity will surely be in the air, as you said.
2-2. We're going to the top of the 9th with a 2-run game. Jack Robinson comes in and works a 1-2-3 inning, and all eyes are on Gaithersburg. Giants need 3 outs. Train needs 2 runs. When we
Ready?
in need of 3 outs before the Train get 2 runs, the Giants will hand the ball to their all-star closer who has already earned a save against this Big Train team this year.
And he's going to need his best stuff tonight. It's going to be the player of the week, Emilio Gonzalez, stepping in to get things started for the Big Train. Sandoff, 4.50 ERA, but his first 6 or so outings were incredible. No runs through those. The past 3 have been a bit more tricky. 3 earned, and then his past 2, 1 earned apiece. So he's going to be trying to get back to form where he was towards the beginning of the season. That's what earned him that all-star nod.
Sandorov, his stuff has not been as sharp as of late, but a performance tonight would completely turn everything around. He's given up runs in each of his last 3 appearances. But again, a save here tonight, that's all washed away. That comes inside on Gonzalez, and it's 2-0.
2 misses, and now a hitter's count to one of the best hitters in this big train order. Not the spot that Sandoff was trying to be in.
2-0, it gets a swing at 91, and it's 2-1.
And he is throwing heat right off the gate here. I mean, topping in the low 90s already. Doesn't need too much warm-up to get going.
Gonzalez is 0 for 3 tonight. 2 ground outs to first and a pop out to short. 2-1. Fouled away, and it's 2-2 for number 2 on the mound. And how about that response? You missed the zone twice, and then you battle back, you force 2 swings, and now you're a pitch away from a punch-out. It was Gonzalez that he struck out with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 8th earlier this year against the Train. And this time, Gonzalez will hit it to third. Holub the throw. It's high, but Sheeler grabs it. 1 out in the 9th.
That's a great play by Andy Holub at third base, who slides in front of it, covering a lot of ground, by the way, which is hard to do at the hot corner.
Off the bat, I thought that was getting through.
He hit that one hard for sure, and
it's that Criswell grass. Slowed it down, and Holub played that perfectly. And now the Giants are 2 outs away. Jordan Crossland. It has not been his night so far, but a hit here could change that. He takes strike 1, and Sandoff is focused now. Not to say that he wasn't earlier, but
he's locked in.
Yeah.
He's found his stuff, and that's important. Took him a little settling in, but it seems that he's found his groove.
There's another strike. Goes outside and gets his spot. And now he's a strike away from punching out Crossland. The Giants last year, 12-24. One of just 2 teams to miss the playoffs, a win tonight. And they will be headed back, giving themselves a chance to win their first title. 0-2. Just outside, and it's 1-2 now.
A great 2-strike pitch. The breaking ball tries to work it backdoor and doesn't quite get a spot, but with 2 strikes, that is A-okay.
Making the dance, that's step 1. 1-2. Bouncer in, and a bit of a wasted pitch there for Sandoff, who had a 1-2 count. If you would have put it close, you could have gotten a chase. Instead, he spikes it. Now it's 2-2 to number 1.
I wonder if he lost his footing there or something.
I don't know. Can Crossland be that spark for the big train? No! Strike 3 called! And the Giants are an out away from going back to the playoffs.
What a huge spot in this game for Sandoff, and he hasn't had a scoreless outing since he closed when we were at Big Train on June 19th, Tyler. It's been a minute for Sandoff, so what a way this would be for him to return to form, going against the very same Big Train now in Gaithersburg for what would be a massive win for Gaithersburg.
Pinch hitter Matt Wesley. He will take Josh Skoronski's spot as the DH, and he will take ball 1.
Wesley, the sophomore at Virginia Tech, with a chance to keep things alive for the Big Train.
He's their last hope. He takes. That misses, and it's 2-0.
Well, Sandoff came back from this deficit with the first batter in this inning. He got down 2-0 on Emilio Gonzalez, came back, got the out.
There's the strike. Well, as you said, he came back from a 2-0 hole to get Gonzalez. Can he do it again to get Wesley and send the Giants back to the playoffs? There's a swing and miss, and Gaithersburg is a strike away. All the pain, all the hardship from last year, missing the playoffs for just the second time in their history. That could all be erased right here. It's fouled back, and at 92, one of the harder pitches Sanderoff has thrown.
Well, we could hear it. I don't know if you all at home could hear that, but Sanderoff, a healthy grunt over there on the mound, he is bringing everything he has into this moment, and that's why I love him coming in this relief role, this closing shutdown role, trying to do that right here.
2-2 pitch, 2 outs in the ninth. Just high. And the game continues.
A game of inches. If that is, I'd say, an inch or two lower, this game is over and we're shaking hands in Gaithersburg.
So here comes the payoff pitch from Sanderoff to Wesley. Fouled away, and
When is it ever easy against the big train, Tyler?
it's never. It is never easy against them. I don't care what the score is. I don't care what the situation is. You can never count them out. They're like a cockroach. It's so tough to finally bring their attempts to an end. Full count pitch from Sanderoff. He got him! And the Giants are headed back to the playoffs. And they take a huge step to their first ever division title. Wow, wow, wow. Last year they won 12 games. This is win number 20. They are the first in the Cal Ripken League to get to that number. And they currently sit half a game up on the whole league, and now 4 games up on the big train in the North Division with just 6 games to go. That is a big, big win for the Gaithersburg Giants.
A massive win for Gaithersburg tonight. One that was not easy. Big Train, they used a lot of their better arms last night, but they gave Gaithersburg the best that they had. And the Giants took advantage, right? The 4th inning, the Big Train, a series of errors that the Giants were able to strike. They got a run. They scored 2 in the 1st inning, responding to a 1-run first by the Big Train. But at the end of the day, this win can be attributed to incredible pitching all the way out. Really, I mean, the 1st inning, the first batter of this game scored for Bethesda. After that, Gaithersburg shut this lineup down.
A leadoff triple for Christopher Diaz. He would score on a sacrifice fly on the very next pitch. That is all the offense that the Big Train could muster tonight. So the Giants hang on. We will be back after a short little break here. What a night for Gaithersburg. They punched their ticket to the playoffs, the first team to do so. For Sammy Krimstein, I'm Tyler Lochte. We will see you next